Hey, this is Dr. Campbell, and so today I wanted to talk about how should parents respond to unfair school discipline. Now, most of the time what parents do is they become argumentative, they get upset with either the child or they may get upset with the school officials. And in most cases they complain, and you really, at many times, you place the child at jeopardy because when they go in the classroom, you're not there, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And so I want to talk a little bit about what I believe parents should be teaching their kids when they believe that there's unfair discipline going on. And so I was reading an article, and in the article it says the parent reported that the student has female teachers who nitpick at him and seem to be watching him constantly to find fault with him. He currently has 8 minor infractions. One of them was staring off into space instead of doing an assignment. And he also had a major infraction. And so this parent was asking for advice for their child because they didn't want to make it confrontational. Now, I used to work with young people who were on the spectrum or who were autistic and who were having anger issues in the classroom. And there was something that I taught them that I want to share with parents today. So before I go into it, though, I want to talk a little bit about the school structure. Now, normally the school in an elementary school, they may have 8 different subjects. And within the classroom, which we call whole school instruction, they may have 4 or 5, mostly 5 different subjects with that one teacher. And in between those 5 subjects, there are 4 time periods that we call transition periods, because you're transitioning from one subject to the next. And what I have found is that is when young people get into most trouble. Even if you go into high school and kids are transitioning from one class to another, that's when they get most of their problems. But we're going to talk about in a whole group instruction classroom. And so what I used to teach my kids was I used to teach them to sit there with your hands folded. When you are going from one subject matter to the next, sit and wait for the teacher's instruction instead of being all over the place. And so I also said to them, when you're sitting there with your hands folded, if you feel anxious, squeeze your hands. If you feel angry, squeeze your hands. And so, see, what it really does, it shifts the perception of the teacher. Because teachers believe that when students sit with their hands folded, that they're ready to learn and that they're good students. And that may not always be the case, but this is what we have to teach our young people, okay? So this is what you do as a parent. You set up maybe 3 or 4 different games in your house. And so the first time you and your child, you play this game for 10 minutes, right? You stop playing, and then you say, now you have to sit with your hands folded for 5 minutes. Then you play the second game, or the second time, 10 minutes, sit with your hands folded. And you do this until the child is able to sit straight up, hands folded, 5 minutes, waiting for your instruction. And then you explain to them, when you are in class and you are going from one subject matter to the next, you are to sit with your hands folded. And what it does is it shifts the perception of the teacher. And so what I found out that most teachers do, and I even have done this myself, is I will say, oh, I like the way Jeff or Janet is sitting, and then the other kids will sit up and they want to fold their hands because they want that praise from the teacher. But the praise has a remarkable effect on your young person because now they want to behave and they want to do better in classroom. Essentially, what you're doing is you're teaching your child to control the teacher's behavior. And then that way you don't have to always be up in school, and then you don't have to be talking about it's unfair discipline. The other thing is that when you teach them this, if there's a problem, you can always ask the teacher, okay, well, in between transfer of subject matter, is my son, is my daughter sitting with their hands folded? And if they say yes, then you say, well, what's the problem here? Okay, now you got something you can go on. But we gotta be proactive on both sides. We gotta work with teachers, but we also have to better prepare our young people. I just want to talk, before I sign off, I want to talk about one of my products. This is the Facilitator's Guide for Promoting Positive Racial Teacher-Student Classroom Relationships. It is available for educators and anybody else. You can even gift this to a school district, and it's tax deductible. Ooh. And so this is Dr. Campbell. You can get additional information on my website at www.positiveracialrelationships.com. And of course, if you ever want to talk about it, you can email me at moreinfo@positiveracialrelationships.com, or you can call me at 856-566-3267. Have a great evening, and thank you very much.